Here's a question, because you've played Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric. I'm currently playing it as well.
Hmm.
About 3/4 way into finishing it,
Yeah,
and even though I'm playing post patch, I'm kind of avoided all the really big shit piles.
yeah.
Do you think it should be ported to PC with it released as intended rather than what it is?
Again, this sounds very much like if we put it out there for the wide world, there is going to be so many mods for it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Because Forces is going to be released for PC as well, which we know we're going to get mods for that, so we can play as the actual other characters in the main stages. But
When somebody's hacked right into the system.
yeah, surprisingly, there's not a lot of mods for Lost World either.
Hmm.
But anyway, Sonic Boom on PC. Do you think it should be released? Because I had a discussion on Twitter saying how they could remaster the game and add in a bunch of extra stuff that they couldn't because of the limited processing power of the Wii U,
Hmm.
and also basically amp it up so much that it shows off what the CryEngine 3 can do.
That is true. Um, it's difficult. I mean, I'm just curious how much interest people still want in it. I mean, everybody's reaction to Rise of Lyric is basically, well, that's another dead course we should totally jump on.
Well, if people are passionate enough to actually want to remake Sonic 06 with a Unity engine on PC, I
Yeah,
see why not.
yeah, exactly. I mean, definitely, if you want to somehow make it work at proper 60 frames per second, all that stuff, go ahead, kids.
Yeah, because the biggest problem with with Rise of Lyric on the Wii U is that it has to stream to the gamepad at the same time, which is exactly which there's it could have used a map, okay? I know there's a map in the game, but having to pause the game to go to a map rather than a map being on the second screen is bullshit.
Yeah, yeah, that's
It's
true.
just the same screen.
Yeah, at least I like a mini mapper there, so at least it just tells you here and little icons, or at
I
least.
spent nearly 20 minutes looking for fucking Percy.
Oh God.
They're like, oh,
Yeah.
it's a little alcove here to get to her. Oh, I didn't fucking see that because everything looks the goddamn same.
Hmm. Though, like you said, the question of remaking it for the PC, I mean, that's the real question because how much can you improve on the game just as it is?
Well, for a few things. One, have some NPCs in the goddamn village. I mean, yeah, you got the mayor, you got two Percy, and you got a couple other characters, but that's it. That's all that exists in this fucking village, and they just stand there. Like, fair enough, the mission important ones they understand there, but why can't we see like Goat Lady or the Lady Walrus?
Just have Medburger in the background. I mean, that would be a funny Easter egg.
I tried looking for that, I couldn't find that bit.
I'm just saying that would if they put
Yeah,
that in.
just have some NPCs there to make it look like people live in this fucking village.
It's not an easy thing to
Yeah.
do.
Improve the frame rate so when I go through a boost ring when on automated running sections, the frame rate doesn't drop down to 15
Hmm.
because that is just annoying.
Yeah. But really, what you're saying is more technical terms, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
not like go in and change the gameplay itself because you can't really do anything about it.
yeah.
You literally have to remake the entire thing from scratch.
Hey, it's just like Sonic Boom Rise of the Remastered. It's like,
Hmm.
can you actually? Because I would assume it would improve greatly if it was actually using the specs it was intended for, not the 11th hour decision to ship it onto a console.
Yeah.
Even though on the PS4 and Xbox One, but even then.
Yeah, well, again, it depends on how you want to use the engine. In fact, actually, here's a good story. Some of you, blah, 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 cut that bit out. One story I heard is that there's a group of people trying to make time splitters using the CryEngine. It's called Time Splitters Rewind. And at one point, one of the character modelers actually showed off some of the stuff he did for the game, and they literally were like Time Splitters 2, and 3 characters redone as you imagine them. They still had that kind of exaggerated cartoony look, but look beautiful. But unfortunately, he said like, yeah, it's all good, but these aren't going to be in the game. It's like, what? It's like, well, they ended up changing the engine 3 times because it's just such a difficult beast to do.
Hmm.
And like I said, it's kind of that worry of because I know with some people, depending on what engine you're using. In fact, we were talking about this with, with Forces still being used in the Hedgehog engine. The case of how much can you improve on the code that's there, or try and put in the specs that was needed to, and make that work without it all sort of going into a hodgepodge feel. I don't know. I'm not a programmer, but again, I'm pretty sure it's a pretty tricky thing to do.
Hmm. But for me personally, I do think Boom would actually benefit from being on its preferred hardware.
Hmm.
Because we all know the Wii U is not the most Titan thing there is.
No.
It's basically here's just Nintendo's version of a 360.
No. Although that said, though, I do find it funny that the Wii U version of Breath of the Wild in some places runs better than the Switch version.
which kind of runs kind of dodgy when it's undocked.
Yeah.
It's better being apparently it runs better portable, but then again, the whole system is the screen.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go. But like I said, ironically, with that, they only had a year to actually develop it for the Switch because, as I said, it was intended for the Wii U all the time.
Not much of a difference anyway.
Hmm.
So I honestly do think Boom would benefit from being on PC, not only for people to mod it and actually do, but also to fix what was broken.
Yeah.
A bit more further rather than just taking up 2 gigs of space for a patch.
Yeah. I don't really. I mean, the reality of it, I don't see Sega doing that because, again, it's kind of like we've already made a mess of this, and if we did this, who the hell's going to play full price for this messed up bug again? I mean, let's be fair, the game isn't it still like relatively high price in stores in the minute?
About $25 per round.
Exactly. So, really, if anything, I think Sega, if they wanted to do, they should have a server say, look, here's all the assets of Boom. Somebody out there, take it, make it work, and see what happens.
Well, hopefully some people actually can, if they can remake, like I said, if they can remake Kingdom Valley in Unity, I don't see why not.
Yeah, it's a case. Can they remake the entire game? I mean, like you said, we've got 06, one level being remade. Can they do that to the entirety of the game?
I honestly think I do think it would benefit if it was on a more appropriate hardware, and if it fixes a few of the major issues the game has. I mean, you can't fix the story, you can't fix the voice acting, and you can't. And some gameplay you could tweak it a little bit to make it more responsive. But I do think a PC release would a second wind, I guess.
Like you said, I don't know. I mean, most people probably use the term of you can polish a turd all you want, but let's be fair, it's still going to be one hell of a turd to look at.
I prefer the phrase you can polish a turd so much until you realize it's a good waste of turd polish.
Yeah, I'm not against the idea, but like I said, how much goodwill would want to go into this? Again, I think a lot of the reputation of Res Alert is just sour, so I don't know. It'd be fun to see, but I don't know. See what the world does with it.
I don't know if it was good. If the Sega was going enough to release Sonic Lost World on PC, I don't see why not.
Yeah, well, I guess it's really a question of would people really want to buy this again, and who knows.
I would.
All right, okay, then there you go.
I just want to see what they fix or what the differences are.
There you go. There you go, Sega. You got one customer here already.
I think there are several customers. So there's still people out there who still enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Again, I'm playing the game post-patch. It's still a bad game. It's just not the worst.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, if anything, I'll be more interested if they ever try to attempt another 3D Boom game like this again, except with everything working. But that's a pipe dream more than anything else, like Sonic 4-2. Well, Sonic 4-3. Sonic 4-3, which, apparently it could have been done, but nope, public says fuck it. So there you go.